Hi, this is Dan Contreras, back again for the Dr. Dan Show, and once again, small d, I'm not a real doctor, but I have some experience in life and a few things.
You know how to heal people.
Yes, spiritually maybe. But today we have a very dear friend that I've got to know in the last 6 months, Carmen Ramirez, and she is the councilwoman.
Councilwoman.
Man or woman, person,
Human.
get politically correct here, please.
But I'm also the mayor pro tem right now.
Mayor pro tem. So she's a big wig in the city of Oxnard.
We're going to talk about where that word came from, too,
Right.
big wig.
Okay. And once again, too, we're doing this show here on downtown Oxnard on A Street at Frida's Treasures, which is on A Street, catty corner with, what's the restaurant?
Kitchen.
The kitchen. The kitchen, yes. Nice restaurant, and this is a beautiful shop.
It's fabulous.
I bought some stuff myself. There's some really mean-looking, great-looking hats, Santana hats, that people can come and buy, and, the guys, and then there's,
All kinds of goodies. Oops, sorry.
yeah. And there's things that anyone can, you can be a guy and buy things for your old lady, or buy it for yourself, just things that are decorative and really nice. So, putting that plug in, we're going to be talking about Carmen's past, and she started in L.A. She's originally from there, right? Aren't you?
Yeah.
And then,
I grew up in Los Angeles area.
and then you moved to Oxnard.
Moved to Oxnard in 1978 to be a lawyer at the Legal Aid Program,
Okay.
Legal Aid of Ventura County, and I'm still a lawyer. I have my
Wow.
active bar card. I've been a lawyer for
I
almost
might need your help.
many decades. Yeah, a lot of people do.
I'm being a little facetious, but
I
you
hope
never
you're
know.
not. I hope you're not in trouble.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Maybe after the march. After the
No,
UFW march. No,
you're not going to.
no, I ain't gonna do anything crazy.
For that good stuff.
no, it's all good. It's all good. But as far as your history and working with people, helping people, now you're an official person in a sense, politician,
I'm a-
local politician.
I get to participate in making decisions.
What
for our
were some
city.
of your roots? In LA, did you do any work there?
Absolutely.
Oh, you did,
Well,
oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
I am a beneficiary of the civil rights movement. I'm a beneficiary of
very
Cesar
good.
Chavez, Martin Luther King, because I got to go to law school and even college because of the opening up of the educational system. My father, I'm one of 7 children. My mother was a stay-at-home mom. Some people say she didn't work. Well, my God, she
No.
never stopped working. It was, 24/7. And my father was the only income earner in the family, and so we were a working-class family growing up in a neighborhood of Pico Rivera, very much like the Colonia. It was
Right.
Pico Viejo.
East of East LA. People don't
East
know.
of East, not
Right.
East of Eden, but East of East LA.
Right.
But we lived for a while in East LA, in Boyle
Uh-huh.
Heights, and I went to college at Cal State LA, and so that's my background. I was involved in the Chicano student movement. I was in Mecha, and later I was actually president of California Chicano law students.
Wow.
But don't tell anybody, because it's supposed to be too radical. That was
Oh,
a
little
long
question,
time
a
ago.
little plug-in. What law school did you go to?
I went to Loyola Law
Oh,
School.
very good.
I did get accepted to UCLA and USC, which is supposedly the big deal around everywhere. But I went to Loyola because they were able to help me more, and I needed help because I just didn't have any income. I went to school with a lot of people whose parents were actually able to fund their entire education, their apartment, their car, their books. Not me. My
Not
dad
you.
was on Social Security by the time I went to law school.
Yes.
And I had to figure out how to work and save and get scholarships and take loans and all that sort of thing. So I was very lucky, though, because nobody in my family had gone to college or finished college. They had people start but not finish. And then I got to be a lawyer, which was like a dream come true.
Wow, yes.
And I appreciate it every day. It is continuing to be a great career.
Just for general information, my brother, Raul, second oldest brother, he's
Right.
a PhD, but in
Right.
political science. He tried to be a lawyer, but he couldn't hang. It takes a lot of concentration. You got to memorize so much stuff. He was saying, memorize half the stuff you never can use in your life, but
Well,
he got out of it. But
I think that
credit to
everybody
you.
has a particular talent
Yes.
or gift, and some people I have artists in my family. I can't be an artist. I can't draw a stick figure.
right,
Other people are good with medical. I have friends who are doctors, and nurses and health technicians. If I see blood, I have passed out.
Oh, yeah,
So I can't do that. So everybody has their own special gift. You have the
Okay.
gift of gab.
To a point. Well, let me ask you a question. Going back, any direct dialogue, issue sharing with Cesar Chavez?
Yes.
Yeah? What was that?
Well, first of all, I'd start out by saying when I was in college, I was participating in the boycott. I picketed the Safeways and the other places were selling
The
grapes.
lettuce,
I mean, it's still hard to eat a grape now.
Yes.
Or drink yellow wine. I don't do that, really. And I didn't ever meet Cesar Chavez until I was here in Oxnard working at the legal aid program. But I did, so I knew all about the farm worker strike and all their efforts, and did go to marches. I did go up to Salinas, where they were doing the boycotts, the picketing of the lettuce fields. I was very interested in what was going on with our farm workers. The other thing is, when I was here working, our office, which became Channel County's Legal Services, we
remember.
represented the farm workers, the individual. We didn't represent the union, but we represented the individuals. We represented the people at Rancho S5i when they were organized and they were being thrown out. Represented people at Egg City out in Moore Park, who were members of the
And
United Farm
Another point of
Workers.
information, Rancho S5i is where?
Rancho S5i is on the road to Fillmore, between Fillmore and Piru.
So people get a point of reference.
And we always talk about migrant farmers. Well, people in our community were not really that much, at least some of them were not migrants. They did year-round work. They had housing provided by their employer. We had SP growers here, a number of other agricultural companies. And we always represented the interests of the individuals and their families, sometimes with education, certainly housing. I've done a zillion Social Security disability cases for farm workers. That's a very hard job. And people do sacrifice their bodies, really,
Okay.
to bring food to the table.
When you met Chavez here in Oxnard, what was the
It was
occasion?
actually a Rancho S5i. that I met him.
And the occasion was
Well, we
working
were
on a-
celebrating a victory in the Rancho S5i case. We
very
were
good.
celebrating a victory in the sense that the people had been able to stay in their housing and survive and endure a lot of difficulties. And they were going to be able to get new housing. Cabrillo Economic Development actually built their new housing, which is out on 126. It's a Rancho S5i Workers Improvement.
What year was that, more or less? 'Cause I wrote
It was
a
in the
major
80s,
article
really.
in favor
Yeah.
of them, right? But there was a lot of
So it
stuff
was
going on.
around 84, 85.
Okay.
And he was at a celebration, and I shook his hand and talked to him, and he thanked our lawyers, and they're still around. Robert Miller, some people may remember. I remember Robert took a copy of the decision that we won in Court of Appeal on behalf of the farm workers to this celebration, and he had Cesar sign it.
Wow.
And he had it framed in his office. I'm sure he still has it where he is now at the Court of Appeal.
Sheesh.
And so it was a big event in our lives.
Ventura County history, in a
Ventura
sense.
County history, yeah.
Yes, very important stuff. Other than that first meeting, did you well, you got to know him, but you get to meet again, or you?
No, we
worked with him?
didn't.
No?
I think I was in places where he was, but I didn't ever have the occasion to go up and talk to him.
To meet like that. So, that's in 85, 86, when you first did that. And from those years, say, for the next 20 years, you're doing what?
Well, for 20 years, I worked with the Channel County's Legal Services. I was the director and chief counsel.
Right.
And we had an office of from sometimes 20 attorneys working. We had an office in Santa Barbara. We had a little outpost in Moore Park. And we did cases that impacted low-income people in our community. Education, housing, consumer rights, rights to get food stamps, government benefits, Medi-Cal, Medicare. And as I said, I did a lot of Social Security. I did a lot of consumer, construction defect. I'm on city council now, but we sued the city of Oxnard
Question,
for housing
the little
problems.
work is important as sometimes the big work.
Yes,
But was
yes.
there any really high-profile tasks that you did in those 20 years?
Well,
They
whatever
really-
I did with my coworkers. We didn't really do cases on our own.
Right.
But we had a lot of cases involving parents' rights, and farm worker rights, and rights to education. One of the first cases I did here had to do with the condition of our jail. I don't know if you remember the Oxnard
Yes.
Branch Jail, long
Yes.
time ago,
Yes.
Oxnard Branch Jail. When I first came here in '78, I took over a lawsuit against the county because they used to have a jail right here where now the library is, the downtown library. That was literally a dungeon. And we sued the city in federal court for cruel and unusual punishment. The violation of the Eighth Amendment to the Constitution.
And you want it?
We got, not only did we win it, we got them to agree. We didn't even have to go to trial.
Ooh,
We
great.
did some discovery of some documents that showed that they were running it improperly. They weren't considering the health care of the individuals there, neither the deputies or the inmates. And later, I'd just like to say this, always people would come, there was a lady who wrote to me after we got the Board of Supervisors to agree. They built the new, what was then the new jail
The jail,
down at the Government Center to replace the one here. And I got a letter from a lady once who said, I used to be so unhappy that you had the nerve to sue the county for the rights of the prisoners. Well, prisoners are human beings. A lot of them were innocent until proven guilty as pre-trial. We're all innocent till we're convicted by a jury of our peers. And she said, but then I talked to one of the high command sheriffs. It was Dennis Gillette, who was city councilman in Thousand Oaks for a while, for just recently.
Yes.
And he said to her, we are thankful they sued, because we were never going to be able to get the Board of Supervisors to fund us to do the right thing by everybody. So we thank them. So I like to think we were in the business of kind of law enforcement, too.
In a sense.
So that's one of the cases we did. We did a lot of education cases. I worked on a case involving the rights of Spanish-speaking parents to know if their children are being disciplined by requiring that notices come in Spanish, and a lot of other cases.
In that aspect, how was the, what I would call unethical things done against you guys as a group? Was there a lot of political unethical things that were trying to stymie you?
When I first came here, there had already been a case against the school district. So different now. The Oxnard School District actually had a policy of segregation. People
Yes.
don't know this. It was de jure,
Yes.
meaning by law, we had Mexican schools in the elementary district and white schools. And that's why if you go to Colonia, you see two elementary schools across the street from each other, Ramona and was Juanita, now it's Cesar Chavez School.
Travis.
And we discovered during the course of the lawsuit that the school district itself, in the 30s, had decided that there should be two separate systems of schools, which is absolutely unconstitutional. Brown versus Board of Education decided in 1954 that was illegal. There's no such thing as separate but equal. It has to be equal education, equal opportunity. We found out that the teachers in the Mexican schools were being paid less, were less experienced.
Of course.
And of course, there's a legacy from that. People don't get the best education. And then they don't have the earning power. They don't go to college. They don't improve their community or their family's life. So it's a lot of consequences from that. So we discovered that, and we were in court. We won. Again, a consent decree from the federal judge Pragerson. And later on, I was in charge of making sure the district complied. And again, we're talking about the 80s. And the school district superintendent filed a complaint to stop us
Stop you, of
from
course, yeah.
doing our duty representing our clients. That was resolved, of course, in our favor.
Okay. Well, we will continue in a minute. Let me come back, okay? Hi, I'm Dan Contreras, back again with our show here with Carmen Ramirez, Councilwoman, City of Oxnard. And we're going to continue a little chronology, kind of, and what's happening in the 90s. We talked about the 80s with the Brown case, school first.
It was called Soria versus Oxnard School District, Juan
Right.
Soria. That's why we have a school named Juan Soria
Right.
here.
Good man, too.
Yeah.
Very good man.
Well, in the 90s, continue to be the director of the legal aid program. We're dealing with a cutback in funding, but we had a very vibrant volunteer lawyers program. We had about 50 volunteers in our program who helped everybody from Social Security, housing, on up to class actions and lawsuits. And as I said earlier, we did have to sue some cities for failing to provide affordable housing, because that's required under our California state law. You have to
Right.
ensure that you have housing for everybody who lives in your community.
Okay, we gotta hopefully
Sure.
get into more of the Chavez, but 2000s, anything significant there?
Well, after 20 years at the legal aid program, I went on to work for the Superior Court of Ventura County. Some people remember me from my days as the coordinator of the Self-Help Center in the Colonia, where I worked for 9 years, which of course we call Centro de Orientación Legal.
See.
And
See.
we were providing information to people who didn't have a lawyer, or afraid to go to a lawyer, or afraid to
Right.
go to court. You know, some people actually thought they'd they'd go to jail if they had a traffic ticket.
Yes,
Not
yeah.
a traffic ticket or an infraction, but, obviously drunk driving, other things. But we're providing information and also helping them to file their lawsuits, understand what they had to do in a divorce or child custody, child support. So it was a great job.
So now as a councilwoman and as a lawyer also, are we participative? I can't say the word. Do you participate in anything that's dealing with the present day, well, right now we're dealing with the UFW in the March for Chavez in commemoration.
Well, I always go to the march, support the efforts to improve the conditions of our farm workers. And I do try to take it into consideration, every decision we make, what's best for our entire community, including the people that we don't think about too much. A lot of people don't think about it.
Is there any particular high point do you think that needs to be dealt with today it's been kind of shoveled down, but some issues dealing with the farm worker?
Well, in our whole county, we have a housing shortage.
Yeah.
Our farm workers also aren't paid as well as they could be, and they have less housing options than other people.
Right.
And for everybody, housing's getting to be very scarce.
Yes, across the board.
And very expensive. So we have to, I think as a city, we have to make sure, as a region, we have to make sure people have a place to live who are doing this important work.
Interesting.
But also, I
Yeah.
would say we need immigration reform desperately. Probably 80% of the people who are picking the food that we're eating are undocumented. They're here, their kids are here, contributing their work, they are paying taxes, because everybody here is paying tax. If you live here, you're buying gas, food, whatever, you're paying taxes.
Commodities in general, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, as you well know, this weekend, the 28th, 29th, 30th, is a 3-day event celebration in honor of Cesar Chavez and his contributions with DFW, with the farm workers, and political stuff, and, different things. Overall opinion?
Well, March 31st is a California holiday for Cesar Chavez, and, we've had a stamp, U.S. stamp, which is very important. We have some acknowledgement throughout the state. It used to be, it was just a day of service. It was not a literal holiday. It is now, and it's something where a lot of our holidays, even Veterans Day and other days, we've forgotten the meaning of it. But we're pretty close to Cesar Chavez. We know what he did, what he tried to do, and what the work still needs to go on in terms of equal rights and equal justice.
Okay, another personal note. You, as a well-known political person throughout the county, actually, but particularly Oxnard, have you done any outreach to fellow politicians and all that to help
Yes, I
out?
let people know and want them to come, and I'll tell you, people want to be there. They want to be seen there. They want to be on the right side.
Okay.
Most people want to be known as a supporter of the farm workers.
Yeah, I know in particular, because I'm part of that committee with Javier Gomez and the UFW, but besides Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but Fridays, one particular part, it's the movie basically getting together.
Right.
Saturdays for the students mostly, then Sunday's the big day. And one thing they're really pushing, and I heard you agreed to, help out with the VIP part element.
I did.
There's a very special VIP fundraiser element where they're charging $100.
Here's my check.
Yes, and here's your ticket.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
really appreciate, because
Looking
just-
forward to it.
I did it in person too. Javier got me, said, where's the money? I got it out of my wallet
Right.
like that. But it's a worthy cause, and you're not gonna get $100 worth of material things, but you're gonna get the event, the feelings, the connections. There'll be various people there, and that's part, I think, what we have to do. We have to connect with other agencies, other individuals that do have
Absolutely.
the knowledge and the awareness and the intelligence to really do things right and to make things better for
Absolutely.
everybody. There's a quote
Yeah.
from that's applied to Mr. Cesar Chavez, and it's in your Facebook page. It's
Yeah.
on my Facebook page. I got it from you.
Good.
But it says, once social change begins, it cannot be reversed. This is Chavez speaking. You cannot uneducate the person who has learned to read. You cannot humiliate the person who feels pride. You cannot oppress the people who are not afraid anymore.
Beautiful.
Any particular feeling on that?
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's important to know where Cesar Chavez got a lot of his ideals from. He has a legacy from Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, people who started these nonviolent movements all over the world, in our country, in India, in South Africa, to say, I'm a human being, I deserve respect and dignity. And I know that's why he's not just a political leader, he's a human rights leader, considered that all over the world, really.
International,
that-
right?
That made a huge difference. And it wasn't about what he would gain from it, or would he be president, or even a city council person. Was what is going to happen to the least of my brothers, as they say in church. Whatever you do to the least of your brothers, you do to me. So looking for the humanity in the person out there that doesn't get a lot of respect.
Very good. I can go with that. Like I said, I've said it before, I have a little history with Chavez. I didn't get to talk to him either, but I was in a march. This
Yes.
would be my second march dealing with Chavez. First one was at Cal State Northridge in 1975, and we protested against, they didn't want to pay him a speaker's fee, professional. They were like,
Unbelievable.
what the heck's going on?
Unbelievable.
So I was there, and I'm a writer, and I did my story as I did the march, and then he was that close, little man. Oh my God, he made me look big. I said, but this guy's the man. He's the genius. You could feel his energy. Little guy, but you felt him. You really did. It was a great feeling. And now my second march for bad knee and all. Okay, my knee's jacked up, but I'm going to march. I decided I am going to march. I'm going to sacrifice a little pain. But, and that's Sunday, of course. And I really want to encourage as many people to come. You know, hopefully you can encourage some of your
Absolutely.
peers, and you know that,
Absolutely.
or at least they help out with the donation part. You know, maybe they can't march. Maybe their knee's worse than mine. Because you're gonna have to go up Third Street Bridge, and that's not an easy climb. You got a bad knee. It
Get a
hurts.
bike,
Yeah, maybe
golf
so.
cart.
Golf cart,
something.
something. So I think we need truly to press the issue, to participate one way or another, and whether it's with your person, your body, and maybe a little money, if you have the means, right?
Right.
Not asking someone that's barely making, oh, yeah, come on, $100, you want to
No,
be a VIP? No,
no.
it's someone that is,
Right.
you know, learned the ropes, and they're doing okay. I'm doing okay, you're doing okay, and so we can,
Right.
come on. For the, as they say, for the cause,
For the
right?
cause.
The
Por la causa,
La
right.
causa. And, you know, maybe, because I have some friends that have been dealing with, and some are, oh, yeah, and the other ones that kind of, they're, what's the right word? Not dead to the issue, but they're just kind of like,
I've been there, done that.
neutral, or kind of like neutral. I don't know. Well, I do know. I can say I don't know. I do know the reasons, and we have to reaffirm ourselves to who you are and why you are what you are. I mean, I was a little farm worker kid at age 13, 14, 15, but that was about the extent of it. But my dad was a migrant farm worker out of Mexico and Texas, and they came to Oxnard. My mom worked in the fields, the walnut fields, so we got some history.
It's hard work.
Yes, the hardest is lemons. I
Really?
mentioned that. I worked 2 days in the lemon field. I said, thank God for the real lemon pickers, because I couldn't hang. And
Yeah,
it
well,
was
because
the
you have to
dirtiest,
put the,
painful,
you
yeah.
have to put the bag on your neck
Yes, and
and
after.
go up, and there's thorns, and after
dirt,
doing it for 20 years.
Dirt,
But I heard peaches is pretty bad too, because you get
Probably.
the fuzz on you.
yeah, probably.
Strawberries, you gotta be bending over all day long.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, as a kid, I
Not
dealt
easy.
all right with that, but I don't think as an adult, I probably wouldn't have, but, once again, we have to like gather that you stand for, and, okay, yeah, I should go, I should participate. It's not like it's gonna take a whole week, it's asking for a couple hours or 3 hours, and so it's all good, I think. And
Absolutely.
just, I don't know.
and
Any
won't you,
final? Oh,
wouldn't you feel guilty if you were just staying home watching
watching
football
whatever.
or something, and you know people out there marching
Well,
for?
football's important to me,
Right?
but I'll make the sacrifice this time. I am a sports guy, I'm an athlete, even at 65, I'm still an athlete, but,
Yeah,
but
that's
no,
right,
but
you just
still.
had a birthday, didn't you?
Yes. Oh, yeah, and you.
We had a big
ah,
party.
And she was present. I invited her, and I wasn't sure she's gonna show up. I'm gonna go, I'm
It
gonna
was
go. Right, great.
fabulous.
It was a great party, and it was a great
You have a zillion friends.
zillion friends, all over.
That's fabulous, yeah.
From homeless to PhDs to.
I know that I was sitting at a table with people came up from San Diego.
Yeah, they were San Diego people.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful event, and
Great music.
great music, and to me, it's very similar to this event, March, where it's a reunion. You're gonna meet people that you've known 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and, oh, yeah, what are you doing now? So it's all good, it's all good. It's part of the human journey that we all.
That journey,
yeah,
yes,
that
I
journey.
agree.
And what did you do with yourself?
And to think that everything is resolved if you put your 2 or 3 years in, no,
No,
it's a lifelong thing.
okay. And to finalize, it's this Saturday, sorry, I'm tripping.
Sunday.
Okay, Friday's one day for the organizers, I believe, and then Saturday's basically for the students, and Sunday's for everyone, and then the VIP.
Yeah,
The
yeah, and
VIP
then
is
there's
right
this-
after the march.
Right, and there's a fabulous movie it's gonna be shown
Oh, yeah,
everywhere,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's the major actors, I
Mm-hmm.
think Michael Peña's playing Chavez, and it's
And I
It's
think Diego Luna is the director.
director, very
Who's,
famous Mexican
Mexican
Mexicano
actor.
guy, but
The Mexicans seem to be taking over our film industry,
Of late,
Cuarón and all those
of late,
fellas.
of late.
Pretty exciting.
Okay, well, thanks for checking us out, and hopefully
Thanks for
we'll
the
see.
invitation.
And
It's
hope we
terrific.
see some of your fans here, out there for the march. Thank you.